Hi guys, this is Mr. Ben and I'm going to go over a few things now which we've already gone over in lesson, but as the submission date now is just a little over a week away, I just wanted to just go over some of the basics. Okay, so as you know, for this term we're looking at Sketchup and you have to submit to me a model that you've made in Sketchup, which could be resembling a museum of some description. And the museum can be about anything you want. I'm just mostly looking for your use of shape and space and navigating around the program. Okay, so 10% is attendance. And basically, we're going to have a final submission along with your continuous assessment. And for the final submission, I will be looking at things like use of colours, good attention to detail, good sense of scale, importing items from the warehouse, having windows and doors, and things like that. Everything you would expect to have in a structure. Okay, so let's look at now the actual website. So you simply go to sketchup.com. When you're on sketchup.com, you click on products and then you click on SketchUp Free. Now at this point, you all have accounts, so it should log you straight into your account. But if it doesn't, you log in with your school email and it's as easy as that. Once you log in, you're going to click on Start Modeling. And then what it'll do then, it'll take you to your SketchUp Free intro page. And on that intro page, you'll see models that you've made in the past and the ability to make a new model from scratch. Now, as SketchUp is web-based, it does not need you to have a downloaded version of SketchUp or anything like that. You simply need to just have a working computer with the internet. It's just taking the time now. Okay, so now we are in SketchUp and you can see here previous files that have been built in the past. So what we're going to do now, let's assume you're starting from scratch. Let's click on Create New, and then here you get to select what type of measurement you'd like to use, feet and inches, millimeters or meters. I'm going to use feet and inches, that's what I'm used to. So I'm going to click on that, and here we have our kind of SketchUp blank canvas, and we have a human being here, which is to give us some sense of scale. Now, I'm going to basically repeat some of the things taught in lesson. There's two toolbars on the left and the right hand side. The left hand side toolbar will be the one that you use the most, and on the right hand side, just for what I need, you'll just use the 3D warehouse, which is where my mouse cursor is now. So let's build a basic structure from scratch, okay? So the first thing we want to do is to know how to navigate around our blank canvas. And we do that with the left toolbar at the bottom. Okay, if we click and hold the mouse, we get, it kind of spreads out some more options, and we can go back to that later. But right now we have the orbit tool, and the orbit tool allows us to move around like so. All right, so we're going to need to zoom out now to get a better look. So we have the magnifying glass tool here, and if you have a mouse with a track wheel, if you just move your finger up and down the track wheel, it'll zoom out that way as well. Actually, much easier to do it that way than to use the trackpad magnifying tool, which is the way I'm doing it now. All right, so I've zoomed out from the lady there, and what I'm going to do now is going to use the orbit tool. I'm going to position myself just right. You'll see here we have another tool, the pan tool, which is like a hand. We can drag ourselves. Okay, just get the position just right. Okay, so now we're going to draw like the foundation of the building on the ground. And to do that, we're going to use the rectangle tool. So if you move up the toolbar to the rectangle tool, we can select that. I have all different shapes here. The most commonly used one is the rectangle tool. We'll select that and we'll draw a rectangle on the floor. So now we have a rectangle on the floor, and what we want to do now is raise that up into kind of like a block. Alright, so to do that we go back to our toolbar and we'll see here we have the raise option, which is called push pull. We click and hold on the rectangle and we push up. Now we have like a block of cheese, yeah? It isn't that interesting, but we have something now that we can work with. Just like a sculptor, when he has a piece of clay, he makes that into a work of art, or he makes it into something okay. It all really depends on the skill, the attention to detail, and how much time you put into this. That's what the result will be. So if you spend 10 minutes doing something quick, then it won't be great. If you spend a couple of hours taking your time and giving it all your effort, then you'll get something really good. And that's all it really is down to. Time, perseverance, and effort. So now we have our block. Okay, we can use the orbit tool now. Okay, and just like all 3D models, if you go into the mall and there's a big 3D model of what the mall looks like, or you go into a showroom, quite often they will have the roof and the front face missing so you can see the inside. So let's delete those two things now. So we're going to use the selector tool. Here at the top, we're going to select the roof and we're going to press delete, or if you're using a Mac, backspace. And we're going to do for the same for the front. Now to get rid of this black line, which is stretching across here, we need to use the eraser tool. If you look here at the top, underneath the selector tool, we have the eraser tool. Tap, and it's gone. So now our block has turned into kind of like a hollow, basic room structure, okay? Right now it's still quite basic, but we have something now that we can put things in, we can make walls and things like that. So let's start getting interesting now. Let's make the inside walls, the decor, look a bit nice. So we're going to go to the paint bucket tool, which is here. We're going to select that, and then we're going to go across to the right. We're going to click on the little search browse button here, and it's going to give us a list of different materials and colors and types of things that we can actually paint onto the wall or the floor. So if you go into any building and you look at the walls, if you're in your room right now at home, have a look at the wall. Usually it's one solid color. More often than not, this is kind of like a beige or a white color. But we're not doing a boring room, are we? We're doing a museum. And museums will have interesting and kind of unique walls, all right? So we can look at all the different types here that we can have. We can even have like an aquarium water type wall. We can have a wood wall. It's really up to you. I'm going to go for a brick wall. I quite like the look of brick walls. I think it's quite cool. So let's select brick. Dink, dink, dink. Just like that. Now I had the brick interior. All right. And for the floor, I guess a marble floor, something like that would be quite nice, wouldn't it? So let's go to asphalt and concrete. Yeah, we have a white marble, a white marble type look there, don't we? Beautiful. All right, so now we have the inside done. Let's zoom out to the outside. So we use our orbit tool, and we have our outside now. What do we want the outside to look like? Let's use a magnifying glass again. Let's zoom out so it's a bit smaller, so it's easy to navigate around. And back to the orbit tool. All right, so let's have a white, a grey kind of brick look on the outside. Again, you guys, you decide what you want yours to look like. And hopefully at this point you already have something together already and you can improve it. Okay. So now we have a nice kind of room here, and we've coloured in the bits and bobs here to make it look a bit interesting. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to create a wall, and to do that, what do you think I'm going to use? Okay, if you're guessing rectangle, you're right. So I'm going to click on the rectangle tool, and we're going to draw the thickness of the wall and where we want to pull the wall out. So I want a nice thick wall around about here. Okay, I don't like that. So we're going to click on the back button here. We're going to go back one step. And we can start again. Let's try again. I don't like that either. Let's try again. I want it to be more towards the back, kind of like in the middle. Okay, I like that. All right, so now we're going to pull this wall out. So let's pull it out. And it can be as big or as small as you want. So I want it to be one of those fancy office type walls where it doesn't actually stretch right across. It kind of creates like an enclosure. There we go. All right. So now we can use the orbit tool. We can see, oh, it's looking quite nice now. All right. So let's put a nice reception desk here at the middle, okay, where people can be greeted. So now we need to use the 3D warehouse. To go to the right-hand side here, we can see we have the 3D warehouse. Look closely where my cursor is. Remember that? Okay, let's click on it. And we can search absolutely anything in the warehouse. The warehouse is made by me and you, and people upload what they've created, so it can absolutely be anything. So I'm going to type in here front desk, and we'll see what we get. All right. Now, because this is made by the general public, it might take some time to scan through something that you like. And they won't all be great. Some of them will be a bit poor. All right, I kind of quite like the look of this. Let's see what it looks like when we put it in. So if you find something you like, the little download button here, you click on that, it downloads it, and it will insert it automatically into your SketchUp model. Okay. All right, here it is. I quite like that. That's quite nice, actually. I'm going to stick it there. All right. And if you want to resize it, we have the resize button here. Click on where my cursor is now. Click on this, expand it, and here we have scale. Grab onto a green square and click and drag, and it will resize it. All right, I kind of like that. Yeah, that's kind of cool. All right, let's leave it like that. And by the way, if you want to rotate this to face a different direction, you can do that as well. I'll show you how to do that now. Let me just remind myself. Yep, the rotate button here. You have to lie the rotate button flat underneath the object, okay? And it's a bit fiddly how to do this. Okay, flat, you click once. You draw out the line where you're going to rotate from. You click twice. And then you rotate, and wherever you want it to be, that's the third click. But I'm quite happy with where it is at the moment. So I'm going to leave it as it is. Now that's quite tricky. Make sure this is flat where you want to rotate. If you want to rotate in a different direction, then it will be kind of like a different face. Okay, so after you've made a few changes and it's starting to look finished, then what we can do, we can take a series of screenshots, okay? So now I'm going to zoom into something I've made earlier. All right, and what we can do, we can just take in some screenshots. So let's say we want to save this as an image, okay, and we quite like this. Then all we need to do on your computer, you just need to take a screenshot of what's on your screen at that time, okay? Now, I don't want you to do it this way. Oh, sorry, my bad. You can actually download it as a screenshot within SketchUp. That might be easier, actually. So we can do it here, export, PNG, and you can just export this as an image file. Oh, this is super easy. So export as an image file. Okay, continue. Okay, and look, there you have you now have the image file here saved. So you just rename this now to, I guess, your name. let's say you called Mohammed. Get Mohammed Sketchup 1. Okay, and you have this now saved as an image file, and then you would just upload that image file, and if you want to do different angles or show anything else off, you can export those off as image files as well. So you'll have 2 or 3 image files, and then you would go to your class and where you would see your assignment. So here we have classwork, and we can see that I've made an assignment here, Sketchup Museum Drop Point. You would click on that and you would upload that to the drop point here, and the deadline for that will be the end of next week, Thursday the 26th of November at 4 p.m. Hopefully this video has shown you how to get a SketchUp started, how to make something in SketchUp, how to do a screenshot, and how to then upload that screenshot to Google to Classroom. And that's all you need to do, and 26th of November at 4 p.m. is the time to do that. Thank you very much.